Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes silence is your greatest strength. There are things in life that are too precious to be shared with everyone. Your dreams, your struggles, your wins, they belong to you. So let's talk about 7 things that, when kept close to your chest, can lead you to a better, more peaceful life. First, your dreams and aspirations. Not everybody can see the vision you see. Some people will tell you what you can't do simply because they've given up on their own dreams. Your goals, your ambitions, they're not for everyone to understand. Keep them guarded, work on them in silence, and let your success make the noise. When it comes to your dreams and aspirations, there's an important lesson to learn. Not everyone is going to understand or support them, and that's okay. Your dreams are unique to you because they stem from your own passions, experiences, and the vision you have for your future. Trying to explain them to others can sometimes invite doubt or skepticism, not because your dreams are invalid, but because others can't see the full picture like you do. It's critical to remember that when you share your goals with too many people, you open yourself up to unnecessary external pressures. People may project their fears or limitations onto you, making you second guess your path. Someone might tell you it's too hard, that it won't work, or that it's unrealistic, but often those criticisms are more about them than they are about you. They're reflecting their own limitations or failures onto your journey. Education tells us that learning and growth happen most effectively when we are in environments that support and nurture our potential. That's why it's so important to protect your dreams. You need to create an environment mentally and emotionally that allows you to pursue your goals without distraction or discouragement. Keeping your aspirations to yourself or sharing them only with those who truly support you allows you to build momentum without having to explain or defend yourself. Moreover, there's psychological research that suggests discussing your goals too openly can actually trick your brain into feeling a false sense of accomplishment. When you tell others what you plan to do, the acknowledgement or praise you receive can reduce your internal drive to achieve it. It's almost as if your mind believes it has already made progress just because you've talked about it. To avoid that pitfall, it's often best to focus on doing the work rather than talking about it. Finally, when your goals and dreams are kept private, you maintain control over your journey. If things change along the way, if you need to pivot, you can do so without the weight of others' expectations. This keeps your energy focused and your vision clear. When it comes to your personal struggles, it's important to recognize that everyone faces hardships, but not everyone needs to know the details of your challenges. While sharing struggles with close, trusted individuals can provide support, publicly sharing your difficulties can open the door to judgment, criticism, or even pity, which can undermine your self-confidence and progress. One of the reasons to keep personal struggles private is rooted in the psychology of resilience. Studies show that people are more likely to overcome adversity when they focus on problem solving rather than seeking external validation or sympathy. When you continually talk about your difficulties, you risk falling into a mindset where the problem feels bigger than it is, because the more you vocalize it, the more it becomes reinforced in your mind. The energy spent explaining your struggles could be better directed toward finding solutions or making progress. Furthermore, there's a social dynamic at play when you share personal challenges. Not everyone has your best interests at heart. Some people might offer sympathy to your face but judge or gossip behind your back. Others may even use your vulnerabilities against you, leveraging your struggles to undermine your reputation or self-worth. That's why it's crucial to be selective about who you confide in, keeping the circle of trust tight. In the educational context, emotional intelligence plays a huge role here. Emotional intelligence involves the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as those of others. Part of that skill set includes knowing when and with whom to share sensitive information. Emotional intelligence teaches us that resilience and emotional regulation are strengthened by internal work, reflection, self-care, and personal growth rather than relying heavily on external validation. Moreover, keeping your struggles private helps maintain your sense of agency. When your challenges are yours to work through, without the weight of public opinion or unsolicited advice, you retain the power to control your narrative. You decide how and when to address the issues, allowing you to approach them from a place of strength rather than feeling as if you owe others an explanation or an update on your progress. This doesn't mean bottling everything up, but rather discerning who deserves to know your struggles and who doesn't. Sharing with the right people, those who can offer real support and guidance, can be invaluable, but broadcasting your hardships to the world often dilutes your strength. Focus on maintaining that inner resilience, where your challenges remain your own to overcome, and the lessons you learn in the process are more profound for it. Financial information is one of the most personal and sensitive aspects of life, and managing how much you share about it is critical for both security and peace of mind. When it comes to your finances, whether it's your earnings, investments, debts, or future financial plans, these are details that should remain private. There are several educational reasons why keeping financial matters to yourself is not only wise but essential. First is the issue of financial privacy and security. Sharing too much information about your finances can expose you to risks, including identity theft or fraud. In today's digital age, information spreads rapidly, and oversharing can make you vulnerable to cybercriminals who may try to exploit your personal data. Protecting your financial information helps safeguard your personal security and minimizes the chances of others taking advantage of you. Second, when you discuss your financial situation openly, you might unintentionally invite unwanted judgment or advice. Money is a sensitive topic, and people have different values, attitudes, and levels of understanding when it comes to financial decisions. If others know too much about your financial position, they might feel entitled to offer unsolicited advice or opinions, even if they don't fully understand your long-term financial goals or strategies. This can create unnecessary pressure or confusion, causing you to second-guess your own decisions based on external viewpoints that may not align with your circumstances. There's also a psychological component known as social comparison theory, which suggests that people naturally compare themselves to others. When you disclose your financial details, you might unintentionally prompt others to compare their financial situation to yours, which can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, or even resentment. This comparison dynamic can strain relationships and create tension, whether in friendships, families, or professional settings. By keeping your financial matters private, you protect yourself from these comparisons and maintain a sense of control over your relationships and well-being. In educational terms, managing your financial privacy also encourages financial independence and self-reliance. When you're not constantly sharing your financial decisions with others, you develop the ability to trust your own judgment and grow your financial literacy. Learning to manage money effectively requires self-discipline, research, and critical thinking. If you rely too much on external opinions, you might be swayed by someone else's financial habits, which may not align with your long-term goals. Finally, financial boundaries are crucial for maintaining healthy relationships. If people know too much about your income, savings, or financial successes, it can lead to expectations of financial support or lending money. It's easier to avoid uncomfortable situations or strained relationships when your financial matters remain private. This allows you to set firm boundaries without the added pressure of meeting others' financial expectations or demands. In summary, by keeping your financial information private, you protect yourself from security risks, unnecessary judgment, and strained relationships. It allows you to develop financial independence and ensures that your decisions are based on your own informed choices, not influenced by outside pressures. Your next moves, whether they're related to your career, personal projects, or major life decisions, are often best kept private until they've fully materialized. There are several educational reasons why keeping your strategies and future plans to yourself can lead to better outcomes. Firstly, from a psychological perspective, there's something called the intention-action gap. Research has shown that when people publicly announce their goals, they can feel a premature sense of accomplishment simply from having shared the intention. This is because verbalizing plans and receiving positive feedback can trick the brain into releasing dopamine, the feel-good hormone, which creates a false sense of progress. By keeping your plans to yourself, you avoid this trap, allowing you to maintain the motivation needed to take real action toward achieving your goals. In addition to maintaining focus, there's also a strategic advantage in keeping your next moves private. Sharing your plans too early can open the door to interference or sabotage. Not everyone around you will be rooting for your success. Some may inadvertently offer discouraging feedback, while others might actively try to undermine your efforts. When you reveal your strategy too soon, you risk exposing it to criticism or competition before it's fully developed, which can hinder your progress. Maintaining privacy about your plans allows you to work in a controlled environment, free from external distractions or disruptions. Furthermore, there's an element of flexibility that comes with keeping your next moves private. Life is unpredictable, and plans often need to be adjusted or revised. When you've shared your plans with others, it can create external pressure to follow through exactly as stated, even if circumstances change. This can lead to feelings of failure if you have to alter your course. However, when you keep your moves private, you give yourself the freedom to pivot, adapt, or refine your approach without worrying about external expectations or judgments. From an educational standpoint, this idea ties into the concept of self-regulation, a key component of emotional intelligence. Self-regulation is the ability to control your impulses and remain flexible in the face of challenges. By keeping your plans private, you strengthen your self-regulation skills because you're less influenced by external opinions and more focused on your own internal goals and standards. Another important factor is the element of surprise. In competitive environments, such as business or creative industries, revealing your strategy too early can allow others to adopt or counter your ideas before you've had a chance to execute them. When you maintain discretion about your moves, you keep your competitive edge, allowing you to debut your work or decisions when you're fully prepared, giving you the advantage of timing and control. Lastly, sharing your next moves can sometimes invite premature accountability. While accountability is essential for success, it's important to ensure that it's the right kind of accountability. When you share your plans prematurely, you may be held accountable by people who don't fully understand your vision or process. This can create unnecessary pressure to perform or explain yourself before you're ready. Keeping your next steps private allows you to hold yourself accountable in a more meaningful way, ensuring that you're moving forward because of your own drive, not because of external expectations. By keeping your next moves to yourself, you safeguard your focus, protect your flexibility, and maintain control over your timing and execution. This approach ensures that when you do reveal your next steps, they are fully formed and ready to be acted upon, giving you a greater chance of success. Your good deeds and acts of kindness are often best kept private because true generosity doesn't require recognition or validation. There are several educational insights into why keeping your acts of kindness to yourself can lead to a more genuine and fulfilling life, both for you and for those you help. One key reason lies in the concept of intrinsic motivation, which refers to doing something because it's inherently rewarding, not because you expect external rewards or praise. When you perform a kind act and keep it private, you're motivated by a genuine desire to help, not by the need for validation from others. Studies in psychology have shown that people who are intrinsically motivated to help others experience greater personal satisfaction and fulfillment. This internal reward system fosters a deeper sense of purpose and connection with the act itself, making your kindness more meaningful. Another important reason for keeping good deeds private is the principle of humility. In many cultures and religious traditions, humility is seen as a virtue, especially in the context of giving. When you give without expecting recognition, you are practicing humility, which helps you stay grounded and focused on the act of giving itself, rather than how it might benefit your reputation. This aligns with the educational concept of ethical altruism, which teaches that the highest form of giving is done without the expectation of anything in return, including praise. There's also a social dynamic to consider. When you publicize your acts of kindness, it can sometimes have unintended consequences. For example, others might perceive your actions as self-serving, even if that wasn't your intention. This can create a sense of competition or comparison, where people feel the need to outdo one another in their acts of kindness. Such dynamics shift the focus from the genuine desire to help to a performative display of generosity. Keeping your good deeds private prevents this competitive spirit and allows the focus to remain on the act itself, rather than on who gets the most recognition. Furthermore, Keeping your kindness private protects the dignity of those you help. Many acts of kindness are performed for individuals who are vulnerable or in need. Publicizing these acts can sometimes feel exploitative or patronizing, as it highlights their struggles to others. By keeping your deeds to yourself, you ensure that the people you help maintain their dignity and privacy. This approach fosters a more respectful and compassionate way of giving, where the emphasis is on helping rather than showcasing your generosity. From an educational standpoint, empathy plays a crucial role in understanding why private kindness is so powerful. Empathy involves putting yourself in someone else's shoes and considering how they might feel. When you practice empathy, you understand that those in need may not want their challenges broadcasted to the world. Keeping your good deeds private is a way of honoring their experiences and offering help without drawing unnecessary attention to their situation. Moreover, keeping your acts of kindness private encourages sustainable generosity. When your motivation to help others comes from within, rather than from external recognition, you are more likely to continue helping in the long term. Public praise could be fleeting, and if your kindness is driven by the need for approval, you may find yourself less motivated once the recognition fades. However, if your kindness comes from a deep, personal desire to make a difference, you are more likely to sustain that generosity throughout your life, regardless of external feedback. In conclusion, by keeping your good deeds and acts of kindness private, you nurture intrinsic motivation, practice humility, protect the dignity of others, and foster sustainable generosity. This approach ensures that your kindness remains pure, authentic, and focused on the well-being of those you're helping, rather than on seeking validation or recognition. Your private life and relationships are among the most personal aspects of your existence, and there are compelling educational reasons for keeping these elements of your life protected from unnecessary outside scrutiny. When you share too much about your personal affairs, you open yourself up to influences that can disrupt your peace, strain relationships, and affect your emotional well-being. One key aspect to consider is the psychological impact of publicizing intimate details of your relationships. When your personal life is on display, you invite others to offer their opinions and judgments, whether they are wanted or not. People often project their own biases, experiences, and values onto your situation, which can create confusion, doubt, or even conflict within your relationship. The more external voices you allow into your private matters, the harder it becomes to focus on the needs and dynamics between you and the people directly involved. From a sociological perspective, boundary setting is an essential skill that helps preserve the integrity of your relationships. Boundaries create a sense of safety and respect, ensuring that only those who truly understand and support your values and personal circumstances have access to the most intimate parts of your life. Without proper boundaries, relationships can become vulnerable to misinterpretation, gossip, and outside interference, all of which can erode trust and connection. Learning to protect your private life by setting clear boundaries is an educational tool that fosters stronger, healthier relationships. There's also the concept of relationship privacy within the field of communication studies, which emphasizes that intimate relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendships, require a certain level of privacy to thrive. Healthy relationships are built on trust, mutual respect, and open communication between the individuals involved, not with external parties. When personal details are shared too openly, it disrupts the delicate balance of privacy and openness that allows relationships to grow authentically. By keeping your private life and relationships to yourself, you create a space where honesty and vulnerability can flourish without fear of external judgment. Additionally, emotional regulation is a key factor in why keeping personal matters private is beneficial. Emotional regulation refers to your ability to manage and control your emotional responses, particularly in challenging situations. When your relationships are exposed to the opinions and criticisms of others, it becomes more difficult to regulate your emotions because you may feel the need to defend your choices or respond to criticism. By maintaining privacy, you reduce the emotional burden that comes with external scrutiny, allowing you to focus on nurturing the emotional health of your relationships in a more controlled and thoughtful manner. Another reason to keep your private life under wraps is related to the concept of social comparison. When others know too much about your relationships, it invites comparison, whether intentional or not. People may compare your relationship to their own, or they may hold your choices up against societal expectations or standards. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy or pressure to conform to other people's ideas of what a relationship should be. Social comparison can also create jealousy or resentment in those around you, which can negatively affect your personal and professional interactions. By keeping your relationships private, you avoid these unnecessary comparisons and maintain your focus on what truly matters within the context of your own life. Finally, protecting your personal life and relationships allows for greater autonomy. Autonomy is the ability to make decisions based on your own values, desires, and needs rather than being influenced by others. When you maintain privacy in your personal affairs, you retain control over the direction and dynamics of your relationships. This autonomy allows you to make decisions that are best for you and your loved ones, without the noise of external opinions clouding your judgment. In summary, keeping a private life and relationships to yourself helps to safeguard emotional health, maintain healthy boundaries, reduce social comparison, and promote autonomy. This approach allows your relationships to grow and thrive in a space free from unnecessary external influence, giving you the peace and freedom to focus on the connections that matter most.